welcome back to the Nest. So what I have for you all is my paycheck budget number 3 for the month of October 2020. I know it seems like you haven't seen one of these in a while, but that is because I skipped paycheck budget number 2 because with this being sort of a magic month in a sense, I was paid 3 times this month, so my monthly budget kind of extends out a little further than normal. And then of course I had 3 paychecks this month. So what I did was I wanted to make one of my checks a free check in a way. So in a sense, all the bills that would have been paid under my second paycheck budget, I actually paid them with monies that was left over from my first paycheck of the month. So that is why we skipped the paycheck budget number 2. And just to kind of give you a recap of what bills that included, that was MLG&W, Best Buy, which is a credit card, Amazon Music, AT&T, Hulu, and Netflix. So all of that was paid out of what was left over from paycheck number 1. So that means that, like I said, this check that I got on the 16th was a completely free check. Of course, minus, well, I won't say completely free, but minus my cash envelopes and sinking funds, and then my other savings that comes out from my Stash app. So pretty much no bills, expenses, or debt payments came out of this check. So we are now moving on to the last paycheck of the month. So I actually will need to look ahead at November because of the way this kind of works and flows. So for income, what we have, I need to look back at the first one. Yep. So we're going to say $2,032.71. And then also, what else did I have going on? We're first going to do online income. I'm going to budget that at $150. All right, so that's what we have here for budgeted income. So let's go ahead and calculate that. $20,32.71 plus $150. Is going to be totaled out at $2,182.71. All right, then as far as bills and expenses, on the 30th we have actually debt payments. I'm going to do this by date instead of by category. So we have legal fees, and then we have legal fees, and then we have regional 1. So let's say legal fees, and then we have regional 1, which is a medical bill. Legal fees is going to be budgeted at $200. All right, yep. Regional 1 is at $25, and then I'm going to have to look at November. So I'm just going to this up like this, even though I hate writing like this, but I have to look at all this leading up to here. So we have Nectar. We do not have Amazon. So we have Nectar, which is at $86. I do not have Amazon. My Amazon card is actually paid off, so I don't have to worry about that. And usually my Amazon card, I tend to have a running, well, I won't say a running balance on that, but that is a card that I kind of pay off and use, simply because it's set up on my Amazon account for a lot of my subscriptions that I have through Amazon, like my Kindle and a couple other things. And then sometimes when I'm making Amazon purchases, I will go ahead and use the card because I get cash back and things like that. Probably not a smart idea, but I just do. But I usually always tend to pay it off. There's usually never much on it. Like I said, a couple of subscriptions is usually what tends to go on there. So probably around like, I don't know, with my subscriptions, probably like I don't know, $30 a month, maybe a little bit more, close to $40 a month, something like that for my subscriptions. Then I may like charge something up there, but sometimes I let the balance run over to the next month, and sometimes I pay it off because it's always such a small amount anyway. Because I think the balance that I just paid off on it was like $60 something or something like that, but it's usually never high, so I never really just worry about that as far as from a debt snowball or debt payment type. I don't worry about it. I just don't worry about it. So yeah, so that is paid off, so I don't even have to worry about that. Then we have my car note, and that is at $250. And then we have Merrick at $39, which is a credit card, and then I have Target, and Target is at $54 budgeted. I don't have room to put my entire total. That is very sad. I did not make enough room, but that's okay. It's hard. So at least I had enough room to put all of my debt payments down. That's what was important. So, yeah, we just won't worry about that for the moment. All right. So as far as bills and expenses go, I didn't have anything on the 30th or the 31st. No. So everything is going to be here. So what we have, I'm going to put my regular stuff down, and then we will get into, there we go. Okay. Let me put in my bills and expenses, and then we will get into the changes that I've made to my budget. I mentioned in my Plan With Me video earlier this week that I made some changes to my budget. So you're going to see that when we get to this bills and expenses section. But let me go ahead and write these down. So we have the gym, and that is budgeted at $44.99. And then we have Comcast. That is budgeted at $68.85. And then we have Trupanion, and that's budgeted at $45.68. Are we good? We are good. Okay. All right. So now let's get to the changes that I have made to my situation. All right. So what I have done, I'm probably going to, do I have enough room for that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I have added 2 additional categories to my cash envelopes. So originally my cash envelopes included household, personal care, pet, gas, groceries, and that was it. That was all my cash envelopes included. And I added 2 categories. I added eating out, which includes fast food as well as restaurants, because I had to be very real with myself, because I had not been. I do a mixture of eating out as well as cooking. So instead of getting out of control with my budgeting and spending during my paycheck periods, I just said, okay, I'm going to set aside a certain amount that I'm going to spend on groceries, and to set aside a certain amount I'm going to spend on actually eating out, and just call it a wash, because it's what I want to do. I mean, sometimes I don't feel like cooking, or sometimes I have so many things going on with work that I don't have time to cook. So I just had to be real with myself about that. So these are the 2 new categories that I added to my my budget, well, my cash envelopes rather. So, and I added an allowance for the simple reason that, kind of related to the eating out situation, I was kind of being a bit reckless with the discretionary spending, so I needed to curb it a little bit, and the way I figured to curb that would be to put forth a effort in trying to keep things contained. So I put a category for an allowance. That's what I did. So we're gonna go through how much is budgeted for each, because I also kind of revamped the amounts that I'm budgeting in each of these categories to kind of make it work, because I'm going to be doing something else different with my budget in regards to debt payments. So, well, not debt payments, but my debt snowball. So for household, we are budgeting $25 every paycheck. For personal care, we are budgeting $25. For pets, we are budgeting $125 per paycheck. Gas is $80. Groceries is $220. Eating out is $90. And my allowance is going to be $50. Now, this may not seem like a lot of a good portion amount of money for some people when you're looking at like the personal care category and the allowance category, but there are certain things that I do myself. Like, I give myself pedicures, I take care of my own nails, I don't go to a salon for hair care because I'm natural and I do my own hair. I may every once in a while go for to get it straightened. That's usually only like maybe once a year. I trim my own hair. I mean, I do many of things on my own, so I don't need extra money for stuff like that. So personal care for me is money that I need to purchase things I need in order to do things for myself, like pedicures, doing my nails, my hair. That's what that is for, to purchase the items I need to do those things myself. And then it's just allowance is whatever I choose to spend it on. So there is that. Now moving on to sinking funds. My sinking fund categories are the same. We have house, we have travel, and then we have car maintenance, we have holiday. Okay, so house is going to be $100, travel is $40, car maintenance is $10, and then holiday, we're not going to budget anything, but I may put something in there. We shall see. Let me make sure, because yeah, just those 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my stash over here just so it's accounted for. And Stash is the app that I use for investing. And I'm budgeted to put over there $50. Okay. All right. So then on to my debt snowball. What I'm debt snowballing right now, which is going to be a shock to some of you, because I know in my last debt snowball update video, I said that I was moving on to my Best Buy card. Sneak peek, Best Buy card has been paid off. Best Buy card has been paid off already. So we are now moving on to my first Premier card. So that's what we're going to put here. I'm going to say first Premier. And I am budgeted to put towards $200, and I will tell you why I'm putting towards $200. in just a second. And then my second snowball that I'm working on is my capital, my Capital One Auto, and I'm gonna put 150 towards that because I'm already paying my regular $250 for my car note, and then I'm gonna pay an extra $150 on top of that. All right, so reason why we're budgeting $200 towards First Premier. An additional change that I made for my budget is that I'm going to start dedicating $100 each week to paying off debt. It's going to be a set amount. I'm going to pay it at the end of the week towards whatever card I'm working on. So that is why we're budgeting $200, because when I get paid on Friday, I'm going to pay out $100, and then the following Friday, I'm going to pay out another $200. Well, another $100. Sorry. So it'll be a total of $200. So $100 Friday when I get paid, and then the following Friday another $100. So that is what I'll be doing. So those are kind of the two changes and moves that I've made for my budget, was that I added the two categories to my cash envelopes, which was eating out and an allowance, and then I'm now going to start dedicating $100 a week to debt payments. So do we want to go ahead and tally up? We will go ahead and tally up. We're gonna say income, outgoing, total. Okay. Outgoing, I'm gonna say 100 plus 40 plus 10 plus 50 plus 200 plus 150. That's everything on this page, by the way. Then we have 44. Ooh, I just messed that up. Okay, let's do it again. We have 150 plus 50 under this sinking fund category. Then we have First Premier 200, Capital One Auto 150, plus Gym, Comcast, True Canyon, household, personal, pet, gas, groceries, eating out, allowance, legal fees, Regional 1, Nectar, car note, Merrick, and Target. Okay. Alrighty then. Alright, so my total budgeted outgoing is going to be $1,978.52. And then my budgeted income, which was at the front, was $2182.71. $2182.71, which will give me a budgeted leftover of 1978.52, which would give me leftover $204.19. So there we go. All right, guys. So that is our total left over for this paycheck budget, $204.19. We're kind of slowly getting to that zero-based budget situation, because as you can see, I mean, even though it may seem like I may not have a lot left over from this paycheck, all of my categories and areas of life are accounted for. My cash envelopes, which houses all of my kind of daily expenses situation, my bills are accounted for, my debt, savings, which is sinking funds, as well as my investments, and I'm also throwing money at debt. So I feel comfortable with this. I do. I feel really comfortable with this. All right, so let's check in and see where we are now. Okay, because we are about, at this point, a week and a couple of days into this budget. I know this is not usually how you all see my videos, but I had some IT difficulties, so I'm having to mesh the two videos together and post them at the same time because I'm behind. And I had to get a new laptop. It's a whole thing. But the laptop was needed because, I'm in school. I have and the computer was not fixable. So, there you go. Alright, so full-time job. It came in as budgeted. We will leave online income at $150 until we get closer to the next time I'm paid, which is November 12th. All right, gym has come out as planned at $44.99. Comcast is as planned at $68.85. Trupanion is as planned at $45.68. And then the rest of these are just my cash envelope categories, and I will cash those out when we get ready to transition to the new paycheck budget. Debt payments. I believe all of my debt payments are made. Alright. Regional 1. Nectar, $86. Car note, $250. And then Merrick at $39. And then let me zero these out really quick. Okay. Now Target did come out as planned, but it was less than what I budgeted. It was actually $30. Oop. That was horrible. Okay, it's $30. So that is what? A net of 24. I always like to check my math. Minus 24. Yep, 30. Okay. Alright, so that was a net of 24. Alright, let's flip. My sinking funds were allocated as usual. Travel, $40. Car maintenance, $10. Holiday. I haven't allotted anything, and I'm probably not going to, so we'll just go ahead and zero that out. Stash was at $50. We'll just zero there. So I'm going to go ahead and calculate this. Plus 40, plus 10, plus 50. Is that right? 100 plus 40 plus 10 plus 50. Yes, okay. So the total there is 200, and that is planned. Alright, first Premier, we have allocated half of that, so, but we're not going to put our actual in until we actually do the full 200, or hopefully not, less than 200. Hopefully we hit right at 200 or more. But in the event, you know, things happen. So like I said, we have allocated half of that, but we're going to leave it until we get ready to transition to the next paycheck. Alright, Capital One Auto, we did put our 150 towards that as planned. Alright, so that is how we are looking mid paycheck budget, and I think we are doing pretty well. I may actually have some funds left over for my cash envelopes, because even though I allocate money each pay period for some of these sections, well, categories, I don't necessarily need to purchase anything during that paycheck budget, if that makes sense. Like household, I may be good on household stuff, like, you know, toilet tissue, laundry detergent, you know, things like that. I'm good on things like that. So I probably really don't need anything. So something like that. So some of these categories I will have left over. Usually I never have anything left over from gas, groceries, eating out, allowance. Sometimes I'll have stuff left over from pet. Usually household, personal care, and pet is where I tend to have money left over. I doubt I will have anything left over from pet though, now that I think twice about it, because he did just get groomed. So, and I need to pick up some more food for him. So that is definitely probably going to be depleted, or maybe just have a little bit of money left over in it. So, all right, so that is course, a check-in on where we are for this budget. First half of the video, you actually saw me putting the budget together, and then I just combined the two videos together. All right, you guys, so if you enjoyed this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button so that you do not miss any more of my videos. Thanks, guys. Peace.